All right, I think we are live now. Buff Nation, what is going on? I wasn't going to keep y'all without a little show today. Happy to be on here. Hope you guys are doing great, having a wonderful day. Allie, patiently waiting for this. You guys are always in here before I'm ready to roll. So, hey, props to you guys. Appreciate y'all hitting that bell notification. It's always great seeing you guys in here. And this is really fun. What we're going to break down, some important visits that we have going on in Boulder tomorrow. Marcus Burnett, hope you're doing well. Too. Sco Buffs, love that. Tremaine Young. I mean, you guys are always in here, so I always appreciate it. But hey, let's get into it. One of the things that I absolutely love about college football is we get some of these brother duos. We can get the father son duos, as you know. Colorado, we're not the first. This isn't the first iteration of having a father son head coach quarterback duo. Um, we've had that in the past with Cody Hawkins, Dan Hawkins. Cody Hawkins, super cool, as the quarterback, but Dan Hawkins, not so much. But we got a pair of brothers. No, we got one pair of brothers visiting tomorrow. We have Colton Hood, redshirt freshman quarterback from Auburn, as well as his brother, a 3-star rated running back this year, Brandon Hood. And his recruitment was kind of interesting when I looked into it because he had offers from all over the place, the Big 12, the SEC, ACC, scholarship offers, but chose in February to be a preferred walk-on at Georgia. And y'all know we got like 15 scholarship spots open. So, hey, if they're a package deal, which I assume they are, hey, that fits right in with what we're doing. Okay. So, of course, you guys know we got Shiloh and Shador here. We got Keaton and Destin Wade. Keaton being an edge / inside linebacker, Destin Wade, backup quarterback. They transferred out from Kentucky. And now Colton Hood could come over here from Auburn, and then his brother could join right along from high school. So this is pretty interesting stuff. So this isn't a normal type of walk-on guy that's visiting Colorado. This is a guy that did get a lot of attention during his recruitment. And hey, the weather's going to be nice tomorrow. That's great. And hopefully they like it out here. So let's go ahead and dive in to some of the information. I'll cover Colton Hood a little bit first, and then we'll dive into his brother, Brandon Hood, the running back right now that is didn't mean for my own YouTube video to start. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. Oh, yeah, we also got the Wester Bros. Duh. Dude, how could I forget that? And, okay, yes, we will have the Mathis brothers once the little Mathis, I forget what his name is when he's here. So, yeah, we got Jalen and LeJontay Wester. So, oh, my God, we got the Sanders, we got the Wade, we got the Wester, we will eventually have the Mathis brothers, and now we could have the Hood brothers. So that's 5 pairs of brothers. And one pair that's actually twins, right? Being the Wade. Are they twins or brothers? I can't remember. All right. Colorado needs some signings to flip the narrative. Yeah, we'll get some signings, but the media, they're always gonna take their shots. Sometimes I feel like we can bring it on ourselves, but it is what it is. We live and die by the portal. This is AAU football at this point. That's how that's how you got to look at it. We're gonna get more guys. It's not like we're not gonna have guys in here, or not have enough guys in here to fill out the 80 scholarships or whatever we got. So hey, let's get into it. Colton Hood, we'll start with him. Cornerback from Auburn, 5'11", 188 pounds. Y'all know I'm like a size guy, a height guy. 5'11". I'm willing to look past it. I'm not being super serious right now. 5'11" is a totally fine height and size for a cornerback. Again, coming from Auburn, when you look at his high school recruiting page here on 24/7, rated as a 90 or an 89 overall player, 48th in the country at corner, 45th in the state of Georgia, and then composite he was right there at 89.63, 4-star rated guy um, with the composite. And I mean, he had offers from all over the place, ended up going to Auburn, but you can see Michigan, Arkansas, Boston College, Duke, Florida, Indiana, Kansas, Kansas State, LSU, North Carolina, Ole Miss, South Carolina. Wow. I mean, he had offers from all the major conferences. So that's really great to see, except maybe the Pac 12. But who cares about that? Because that conference is absolutely dead now. You can see highly recruited guy, spent 2023 on the bench as a redshirt. Totally typical. That's totally fine. And we saw that in his redshirt freshman year, he was able to get in to a little bit of action. Most of his playing time came in the bowl game against Maryland this past year, where he had 33 total snaps, 17 point in the run, 16 in coverage, and grade out pretty well. Gave up 2 receptions on 3 targets, but overall had a great coverage grade. You can do well in coverage sometimes because guys won't throw at you if you're playing good coverage, right? So 68.2 grade overall. I would say that's pretty good with coverage. But again, this is still, I would say, probably a pretty raw player in terms of experience. 44 total snaps right now in college football. So definitely somebody I think that can come in here and look to take that next step, similar to some of the other guys that we brought in from the SEC. Looking to take that next step. Can Colton Hood, if he ends up coming here, first become an impactful rotational player for us? That would be my hope. And if he can then transition to a greater role in due time, that's bonus points, right? Played a little bit of slot, three snaps in the slot, 26 out at corner, and then played a little bit in the box. That's interesting. But yeah, again, 44 total snaps. I don't think there's really much that you can take or read into that. But anytime, you're bringing in somebody like this, I think that's wonderful for a visit. And I hope he enjoys it. I will go ahead now and we can take a look at Brandon, because you probably are wondering, okay, what's up with Brandon? Oh, and I meant to say this. Colton and Brandon Hood, their uncle, played in the NFL for 8 seasons. And he was also an Auburn guy. Played 47 games as a DB for Auburn. Finished his pro career with 254 tackles and 15 interceptions. Maybe some of y'all remember Roderick Hood. I'm trying to remember what teams he played for, and I cannot. So maybe you can help me out with that. But Georgia guys, let's go ahead and get into Brandon Hood. Again, class of 2024. Ford F-150. I always get these ads. I don't have a truck. 5'10", 185 pounds. And I feel like this is pretty typical back size for freshmen that are coming in. Imagine that he'll add on some weight. But usually what we'll see is anywhere from 5'10" to 6 feet for a lot of the running backs in terms of height. And you can see from his offers that he had here, he had offers from all the major conferences, ended up becoming a preferred walk-on at Georgia this year. But take a look at the other scholarship offers. See, he didn't get a scholarship offer from Georgia, but he had offers from schools like Boston College, Georgia Tech, Kansas, Kansas State, Kentucky, Liberty, Louisville, LSU, Michigan State, Missouri, Penn State, Tennessee, Pitt, okay? That's fantastic. The fact that he's getting that kind of interest, and really interesting. If he ends up committing here, I'm going to have to look a little bit more into why he ended up preferring to take a preferred walk-on position originally at Georgia. Maybe it was just a big Georgia fan, being from Georgia. I understand that. But hey, the opportunity to play with your brother, That's pretty cool. And again, you only got a finite amount of time to play football, especially in college. If you want to do it with your brother, that's amazing. Like, definitely take this opportunity if they end up liking their visit. So this would be really cool for them to be here as a package deal, and that would be cool if we ever get to the point like Georgia's at that has 3-star guys that are interested in coming to their program, and they're okay negating a scholarship offer from other programs to go play for you as a walk on. I mean, that's pretty cool. Now, as a walk on as well, being a Georgia resident, he probably gets fairly cheap tuition. So it's not like going out of state. Sometimes I've worried about certain guys that will go and walk on at other schools out of state. I'm like, man, that's a costly gamble sometimes if you're turning down scholarships. But hey, it is what it is. Let me go ahead and turn on some of the tape here for Colton Hood. I mean, this is a couple of years ago. It's a 17-minute highlight reel, so I'm not gonna play all of it. Gavin Cole, what's going on, man? Yes, I'll be at the spring game. And it looks like this guy can play some special teams. So that's super cool. I look forward to seeing you play in the spring game. Should be a lot of fun. Man, I wish we had Bear Alexander. I wish. Man, we need that other DT from Georgia, that's for sure. But anyways, I'm getting distracted, y'all. Smash that like if you want the Buffs to get more players. Cool to see that this guy has some return ability as well. Colton Hood. Always like dynamic playmakers. And again, that's been a theme throughout Coach Prime's recruiting strategy, going after guys that can make an impact in multiple phases of the game if needed. Shout out to Prime Sports Media. Appreciate you as always. Y'all go subscribe to him. I appreciate that you would spend time on my little channel. Thank you for the $4 super chat. Much respect to you as well. And yeah, we'll definitely need to do a show here sometime after the spring game. Yeah, he did play wide receiver. Let me see if I can fast forward and find some of his corner tape. 1 second, y'all. No, I guess not. Still wide receiver. You can see play quarterback, Wildcat quarterback. So definitely a true athlete. I wonder if he made the transition to corner in. Okay, here we go. Hey, I like that. Being able to get off that block, make that tackle. And I assume, playing the wide receiver position that can help you with corner, right? It can't hurt. Oh, nice. Y'all know I'm a hoe for special teams, so I like to see those special teams plays right there. And can do a little bit of blocking too. All right. We don't need any finesse corners. Y'all know that. Oh, we got a slow motion juke. Okay. But Doctor Strange, Colton Hood, we need just a tape of your cornerback tape. But if he ends up officially committing and transferring out here, I'll try and find some of the all 22 tape of, his like 44 snaps. Hopefully we can at least have a few to look at from his appearance against Maryland in the bowl game this year. So it looks like I'm seeing mainly wide receiver stuff, Wildcat quarterback on here. We're going to see him tackle right here. Nice. Okay. Cool. We'll have to see what he can do. We need some more cornerback depth in the pipeline. So I'd love to see him out here. Let me go ahead also and bring up Brandon Hood's huddle tape. I have that up as well. And again, this is kind of my first look at all this stuff. Haven't had time today to look through this stuff prior. But hey, let's see what he's all about. He's got a 10-minute huddle highlight tape. We won't run through the whole thing, but okay. I mean, that's nice. Placed sixth in the 100-meter dash as a 10th grader at the state 1A private meet there in Georgia. He has close times of 10.84 in the 100-meter dash. So, hey, that's nice speed. Oh, okay. Appeared in 5 games as a junior before tearing his ACL, so maybe that affected some of his recruitment as well. Still managed to rush for almost 500 yards and 5 TDs while averaging 6.8 yards a carry in 5 games with Eagles Landing. Also caught 7 passes for 114 yards and a touchdown. As a sophomore, though, totaled almost 1,400 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns on 225 carries. Eclipsed the 100-yard mark rushing in 7 games. So that's showing you he's got some nice big-time playmaking ability as well. Hey, that was a nice little route he ran right there. And showing some nice balance. But 185 pounds, hey, that's nice size coming in as a true freshman. And yeah, I mean, I like how this guy runs. Like, I like his style. I think, again, with my Dylan Edwards video yesterday, again, I think we're going to be able to find, uh, you know, fine running back production this year. But I do think his loss changes the dynamic of the offense a little bit. However, guys that come in here, such as Draylon Miller or Cam McKell, could make up for some of that depending on how they are utilized, how much they see the field this year, because we know they both have fantastic speed. But I kind of like, again, the identity shift, whether this was on accident or on purpose. Our running back room's kind of taking on. If we bring in that, man, I keep forgetting his first name, that Amos kid from Miami, Ohio this weekend, he ends up committing. We have Dallin Hayden, we have Michael Welsh. These are all backs that are physical, can provide a little bit more power. And it seems like this guy can do a little bit of everything, but definitely a physical runner. Isn't afraid to seek out some contact, and I kind of like that. With the offensive line, those guys that we brought in seeming to be a little bit more physical and nasty. I like the fact that we're bringing in some backs that also embody that as well. And I mean, y'all know, like, man, that offense was very exciting to watch in a handful of games last year. Before the offensive line and all that stuff just kind of felt broken. Shador's back was broken, right? But I think we could benefit from a little bit more balance of having some nasty on the offense, in addition to some of the finesse, the flash, the speed. It'll be nice to have some balance on the offense as well. But man, he really does show some nice vision, show some nice cutbacks here. Again, looking at this as just an amateur guy here on YouTube, like, I can see why he was regarded as a 3-star, and had a lot of different offers from or a lot of offers from a lot of different programs throughout Power Four football. A little bit small, so maybe he's a guy that would take a year to redshirt or something like that. But y'all never know. I mean, as we saw last year, running back can be one of those positions where you don't necessarily need to have people take a redshirt year, as the case for positions such as inside linebacker or positions on the trenches. It's very rarely that we see people like we're expecting, Jordan Seaton to be out there, Caden Proctor starting out there as a true freshman, right? Maybe Brandon Davis Swain. I mean, we'll have to see how he performs this fall camp, but I think he's going to be expecting to have snaps this year, which is great. But I think overall, like, I love, this is some of the stuff that I really do love about college football is that family members, that brothers can play on these teams so often. You see, guys go play for their uncle or be on the same team that their uncle's coaching on, such as Dylan Raiola. Like, I think those things are always really cool. So, yeah, I'll get to some of your comments as I know I have this more on Colton, but I'm enjoying these Brandon Hood highlights, so I'm just going to keep them running, okay? But yeah, Gavin Cold will be at the spring game. Excited. Hopefully the rain is just light because I want to see a lot of passing. And I'm excited to see you play. I'm excited to see everybody play. The big one saying Nakai is coming. Man, I sure hope so. I felt like he was going to commit on Monday or Tuesday, just kind of based on some of his tweets and stuff like that. But I guess he's going to take one more visit this weekend and then make an announcement on Sunday. So, I'm not going to say I'm bearish on him, but I don't feel as confident as I was maybe a couple days ago. But I think we're still in the running, no doubt. And I would love to see him here. Now, we haven't heard a peep out of Elijah Herring yet, so I don't really know what to expect. Exactly, outsider. We need a cornerback, and we got 15 roster spots, scholarship spots to fill. So hey, if we can get a guy that was also regarded as a 3-star running back this late during the year, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Chase, are you going to the DNVR tailgate on Saturday? I haven't bought tickets. To be honest, I don't totally know because I am wanting to. It is the NFL draft too, so like I am wanting to spend some time watching those things. And even though it's day 3, it's like I'm just a nerd when it comes to watching that stuff all weekend. So we'll have to see. But definitely, again, if you guys see me at the game on Saturday or see me walking around, like, please come up and say hi. It's always great to meet some of y'all and chat for a little bit, whatnot. See, I don't even know what time the game is on Saturday, but I do. I haven't even looked at that yet, but I do know that it's on. It's on the Pac-12 network. Rest in peace. I'm ready for that network to die. Our new running backs may be better than the other ones. Maybe. I do think the way in which we use them will look quite different than what it looked like last year. And that could be for better. It totally could. Again, I feel like our offense could benefit from just having that mentality of being more physical, being more badass, being, more violent on offense, regardless of the line play last year, which we know was terrible, regardless of having, an undersized guard out there. The reason you saw a lot of people at different times on here talk about the importance of just running the football, even if you weren't super successful at it, it's because you're able to develop that mentality as an offense of aggressiveness, of violence, and we really didn't have a feel of that at all. It was 100% finesse. We need to change that up this year, have a little bit more balance. I know Tremaine coming in here saying, David, they let my boy Adam Hopkins bounce. Kid was a 4-star prospect. All the kid did in high school was catch long bombs. I know, man. That's the thing. Sometimes you get these guys, and for whatever reason, like we just never see them have their opportunity. For some guys, it's a little bit more documented on why. Some that have left the program, maybe on why they didn't get their chance, right? But I don't think that was the case for Adam Hopkins. I would have loved to see him out there, especially with again, I'm harping on like guys like Javon Antonia. I just didn't really feel like needed to be seeing the field as much as they did last year in the grand scheme of things, even though I called him Calvin Johnson to start the season and he was one of my 5 guys, right? It was very clear that after you see like a performance like Omari Miller, it's like, screw having this guy on here. Okay. But it would have been nice to see what Adam Hopkins could have at least brought from an athletic point, like an athletic standpoint. Like I wanted to see him on the field to see like how he looked compared to everybody else, Kung Fu saying Adam Hopkins and Dylan will be going to Kansas State, according to me. Kansas State, I feel like, is the most, it makes the most sense for Dylan Edwards. Now with Adam Hopkins, I guess that would be kind of cool to see him follow another teammate over there. And again, from a fan perspective, it adds to the KSU rivalry. And that's a silver lining in this whole thing is if you're looking for reasons to really get fired up and to hate some of these teams, right? Like as a fan, these are the things that add to it, that create excitement. Obviously, I wanted both of them to stay here, but those are other videos getting into I wonder why or why this might have happened, all of that. At the end of the day, they have left. I know Dylan Edwards is a damn good football player. Hopefully Adam Hopkins goes to an opportunity to where or goes to a program where he gets that opportunity to play because I mean, we were all freaking out, when he flipped from Nebraska. I mean, we flipped him from our rival school. I would have liked to see him. Now, if he goes back to Nebraska, that's going to be interesting. But I kind of hope just for, putting together the fight, the promotion, all of that, so to speak, that these guys stay in the Big 12. But it sounds like Dylan Edwards is in high demand, and he's going to go to a nice program. Man, I saw that was so funny that Nebraska was going after Dylan, and yeah, it's like you know how fans are. They're gonna look to crap on all the players that are on their team, but then once they're on the team, it's all good. All right, guys, we'll go for a few more minutes here. Yeah, and hopefully we're able to see some of Cam McHale as well as Draylon Miller this year. Again, they're fantastic, elite type of athletes. So we'll see what they can do. Oh, dang. Y'all bookmark this. We have Pastor E. Dewey Smith coming in the chat. Much respect. Thanks for popping in, saying Brandon Hood will become one of the top running backs in college football. And I think I saw you tweeting about him earlier today as well. So if y'all aren't following Pastor Smith, y'all be sure to do that. But hey, I think that he would be an exciting addition to this room for sure. And again, Georgia is in one of those positions where they can literally get highly rated 3-star guys to come on as walk-ons. I mean, that is like he turned down SEC offers from like Tennessee, Ole Miss. I think were a few of the schools that we were looking at to go walk on at Georgia. So don't, just because you read in the headlines that he's a preferred walk on at Georgia, do not overlook that. Like this guy is he's a legitimate power forward talent coming into college football, no doubt. Dylan's gonna give our plays out. I mean, we put him on We put them on YouTube anyways, so it is what it is. Are we gonna block the guy in front of us? That's really what it comes down to sometimes. Execution. I mean, these schools, they'll know what we're running half the time, right? I feel like half of this stuff, it's just making sure you're more disciplined, have better technique, you're more physical, mentally, you're the more aggressive player or unit, right? So football can be rocket science, but at the same time, it sometimes this coach speak is totally true. Like the other team just executed better than us, and we got to execute. We got to execute, no doubt. Adam Hopkins is the second coming of Jamar Chase. Um, that is another hot take too. But hey, we'll see what he does this year, Kung Fu, and if he ends up just absolutely killing it, it is what it is, man. You can come on here and take all the credit for that. Dylan going to the U. That would be interesting. I'm sure Coach Hayes would be thrilled. And I need to tune into Coach Hayes because they've been going through a lot of the stuff with the portal like we have. Maybe not to the exact degree, but I know that they've lost some really good players as well. But they brought in some that to be excited about, just like we have. Bishop, David menu, oxtail, spinach, 3 Italian sausages, top on cornbread, grace, Man, I'm all about it. I'm all about it. Can we get some oxtail at Folsom Field on the menu? That would be nice. Also, I could always go for a nice Italian sausage. No Diddy. I'm probably gonna lose a subscriber after saying no Diddy. We'll just have to see. All right, going through a few more. Hey, I just saw you send a super chat. Thank you so much, Bishop. I do appreciate that. Thanks for being a fan of the show. Thanks for always being in here again. It's always more fun to go live than not most of the time. Sometimes y'all wear me out. Y'all see that. Y'all absolutely wear me out. I mean, y'all see me every day, so y'all can see what kind of moods I'm in. Y'all can tell if I've taken my medicine, which day or, which day I haven't. Right? But I appreciate everybody sticking with me. Last year, our plays were predictable. And here's the thing, like with Pat Shurmur, again, the time that I watched him the most was when he was OC here at in Denver. So it wasn't the greatest thing, but Pat Shurmur isn't the most unpredictable play caller either, just to get that out there, okay? The biggest thing that's going to help this team is just having some guys that are competent in the playing offensive line and hopefully just being a more disciplined team. I think even with being undersized and having some below average players, starting for us last year at some of the spots, it's not talked about enough. We talk a lot about, again, we just didn't have the depth. All that stuff is totally true. One thing that we haven't spent a lot of time, I feel like collectively, like as a community, talking a lot about is, are we going to get these like penalties taken care of? Like we were so undisciplined last year. Maybe some of it had to do with trying to run, no huddle and pushing the pace at certain points. But unnecessary penalties from some of our top players, from some of our not top players, our lower players. We were one of the most penalized teams in the country this past year. And that's something that is totally in our control to fix, regardless of, who hits the portal or who comes in, right? It's totally in our control as a team to be disciplined. If we don't have the most elite talent at every position, what we can control is being disciplined. And we need to take a step in that this year. I don't even know, y'all. I don't even know. It's always I don't know. The trolls are always really funny to me because I try and understand, and it's just like, you guys spend probably the same amount of time that I do following buff stuff, but you guys hate the buffs. Like, why don't you guys spend your time on like oh, I got a question like on sometimes like with the trolls. And I'm not saying kung fu. I don't know, man. I can't remember when you're trolling, when you're serious, when you're making jokes. But other trolls, it's like, what did y'all troll? If you're a troll in the chat, please let me know. Like, what teams did you troll before Coach Prime came to Colorado? Like, I am so curious about that because anything Colorado related before Coach Prime was here, no one was spending time trolling us on YouTube or on Twitter. You know, where did you guys come from? Where did you guys change your troll allegiances from? I need to know that. CU will be fine, but are the fans going to be okay with the direction they're going in? This is a really good nuanced question out of my mind because, again, I talked a little bit about this yesterday in my Dylan Edwards video, and I'll probably do like an individual video dedicated towards it. But uh, again, like being somebody who went to Colorado, right? That's a Buffs fan. That's going to be a Buffs fan. You know, after Coach Prime, whenever that happens, um, I might have like a different opinion on what it means to be okay. Again, like I think that regardless of the wins and losses, our program is okay. We don't have a foundation such as Georgia right now or Alabama, but the foundation institutionally at the university for athletics, for football is so much more firm and in a good spot than it was to him prior being here. And a lot of that is credit to him actually being here. Again, we now have a chancellor that, I mean, Philip DeStefano, I mean, he played a big role, in my opinion, in bringing down Colorado athletics and Colorado football for 20 years or however long he was there. And now he's retired. Now we're bringing in somebody from Penn State that totally understands the importance of academics, but also athletics, also football. We have regents now that seem to be way more on the same page in supporting athletics than in the past, than prior to Coach Prime. So that's a big deal because they decide the budgets, they approve hiring, firings, all of that. They understand the value of football. And so eh, those are just a couple examples of where we're at. And then again, I just don't think that we are brought into the Big 12 if Coach Prime's not here. I know that's probably a hot take because it's like you got the Rocky Mountain market still, regardless of if we were going 1-11 every year. I just don't see that to be the case. I don't think that we would have been the first ones asked into the conference in the Pac-12 from the Big 12. We want to be the first one to get the invite. In my opinion. And so, regardless of what happens with the football team in 2025 or 26 or 27, like what happens to the football roster if they're on limited transfers after Prime retires or whatever. But again, I hope he stays here a really long time. At the end of the day, this Colorado football is going to be in so much better of a place because of Coach Prime that when you talk to, in my opinion, when you talk to Colorado fans that were here previous to him being here, we hold that knowledge and hold that perspective. I think sometimes, again, when people reach out to me and they're like panicking, you know, what happens for the future? Guys, I don't give it. I don't give two shits. Like, I am so thrilled. Not only did we have a season to really care about and look forward to this past year, we have another season of football that's going to be damn exciting, that has an elite quarterback, that has an elite cornerback, wide receiver talent out there. And seasons like this, from a Colorado fan's perspective, they don't come every year. And I think some people that have started to cheer for this team, which I love, hasn't been through that in a sense where it's like, hey, you have a season to look forward to once every 5 years, like legitimately, right? That it's almost kind of taken for granted still how much fun being a fan of the team this year is going to be. You know, people get so caught up on the future. Um, if you follow my channel since I've been here, I've really wanted to focus on just enjoying the moment. This whole era could last, again, I said last year, it could last 1 season or 2 seasons. It could last 5 or 10. What's nothing lasts forever. So let's enjoy all the fun, all the drama, all the pieces of news, the ups and downs, the emotional roller coaster of this thing. Like, let's enjoy it every day. Oh, yeah, kung fu. Why you gotta be weird? Why you gotta be weird? Come on, man. Yeah, that's college football, man. This is college football. This We are truly in the AAU era of college football, and I still think we're a little ways away from things being a little bit more regulated. Again, I think right now probably the easiest solution is, instead of making these transfer portal windows 2 weeks, you make it 2 days, 24 hours to 48. Put the pressure on. But these guys got a lot of time to make decisions. Hey, I appreciate the love, Silas. I think a lot of people, again, they can then kind of disregard the nuances of a lot of this, and why, like, I don't think you'll see uh, yeah, like, I don't think you'll see a lot of bitterness from CU alums or like anything like that. If he were to retire at some point or take a job with another school later on, something like that, again, there's so much to be grateful of for what he's done for the school, regardless of if we win a national title or not. Yeah, I think Wilkerson will get picked up. He has an amazing attitude. I agree. Again, just didn't shake out. He came into what really was a wide open running back room last summer, and just kind of found himself a little bit outside that full rotation, especially as he got in here to the spring period. So I would have loved to stick him for him to stick around, because it's nice to have continuity. It's nice to have depth. I think he's a fine depth running back, but from the player perspective, he absolutely needs to hit the portal to find a situation to where he's going to get more touches, like, no doubt. Shout out to Savion Washington as well. I'm so excited and so thrilled to see that he's at Syracuse, and I'm pumped to see what he can do. Y'all acting like Cormani is not going to get picked up. Cormani will get picked up. I mean, he's a talent. He still is a talent. He's gonna get another chance. Now, is he gonna get a chance at an SEC school or something like that? An ACC school? I don't know. I'm a little, um, yeah, I'm a little unsure of that, but he'll get a Division One offer, no doubt. I think it's most likely that he goes G5 somewhere. All right, guys, gonna shut this thing down. Appreciate you guys as always. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe on the way out. Remember, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Sco Buffs.